Welcome to the Greater Victoria Real Estate Show. I'm Jane Johnston, realtor here in Victoria, and this is a show where we cut through the noise and talk about what's actually happening in our local market.
I'm Andrew Plank, also a Victoria realtor. We'll talk stats, timing, neighborhoods, and what we're seeing behind the scenes.
And I'm Jen Lowe, mortgage broker. I'm the numbers person of the group, and I'll chime in with the mortgage side.
Each week, we break down what the market means for you.
All focused right here on Greater Victoria.
No hype, no pressure, just honest conversations, local insight, and practical advice.
Let's get into it.
All right. Welcome, everybody. It is April 14th, and we are here with our weekly market update with the theme, Should I Stay or Should I Move Now?
Yeah, and Jane was going to sing. I thought the theme was, should I stay or should I go? But okay.
I'm not going to sing.
You're not going to sing. Okay. She was singing before we started, just so everyone knows. She has a beautiful voice.
That's what my kids used to say before they actually understood what singing was all about. So how is your week going?
Yeah, good. I mean, I'm a little sleep deprived. I'm off in Ottawa for for the CREA annual general meeting. So that's got me, well, it's just been busy. It's been busy, lots of stuff going on. But
any themes in that?
Me?
Any themes in that?
It's always the theme of, collaboration, being unified as an organization, and how do we all pull together to do better? And as with any large organization, there's always some politics and always some breakthroughs, and it's been good. It's been a really great. It's always a bonding experience for our board, as when we travel, and it's been good. But here we are. I guess what we're going to talk about today is what to do under stressful situations. Travel is always stressful. Sleep deprivation is stressful. Hard to make good decisions when you're not fully feeling like you're fully there. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a great thing to talk about. How do people, in the face of uncertainty, make good decisions? And let's get in. Let's talk about that. But first, I guess we talk stats, don't we?
Let's do the stats. Hold on a second. I'm going to bring it in here. So, well, first of all, interest rates have remained the same, so that's good. And here we go.
Yeah, we don't have Jen today, by the way, folks. That's why we skipped over Jen. Jen is traveling as well, and she's in Europe, I guess. She just sent us some pictures of the Matterhorn. So there you go. No Jen, but okay, go ahead, Jane. Sorry about that.
Okay, so we're currently this week at 504 new listings. That's compared to 315 the week before. We have 178 pending, and that's compared to 116. So that's good. And actually, between when we updated it this morning and this afternoon, that number increased by 5. So we're seeing lots of activity. Price decreases were also at 178. That's interesting to me. That might be a wrong number. And I will check that. And expireds were at 38, and that's down. So typically what's happening right now is people are expiring and relisting, I'm finding.
Expiring, relisting, and then that's always brings up those numbers. Okay, I'm just trying to see if I can see those stats myself. 178 pending and 178 price decreases. Those are correct, folks.
Wow.
So, that's all good. We have it.
So do you remember during COVID, I think we had 12 a week, and then I was thinking 25 was high, and now we're at 178. So we are seeing a major adjustment happening.
Are you talking about price decreases or?
Yes.
Yeah, price decreases. Yeah, we certainly, because we have high inventory, and with high inventory, of course, inventory is high because not every property is selling. So if you want to get your home seen and shown, or at least sold, you need to adjust your price to bring it into alignment. And didn't need to do that during that big COVID rush after everyone realized they needed a change of living space. There just was pretty much you list it, you sell it. That's how it went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our list to sale ratio is at 35.32%. So still pretty low. And compared to last week at 36.83%.
So down a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Andrew.
And then so far for the month of April, here we are, April 14th. And so we're really only halfway in. Now this, and the stats would have been as of Monday. As of Monday, the 12th. Sorry, the 11th. What day are we at today? It's only
13th. It would be the 13th.
So 228 net unconditional sales so far this month. So that's quite low compared to the full month for April the year before. But then that being said, 178 was just in the last week, right? So so maybe we will catch up.
Mm-hmm.
And 684 new
listings.
Versus 1,629 for the full month. And then in terms of our actual inventory, for the dyslexics among us, these numbers are very similar. 3,462 versus 3,426. So they're pretty close, but a little higher right now than it was last year.
So if we look at real estate as a runway, and the spring is when you start to take off, and the fall is when you should have your property sold.
I'm trying to understand your analogy there.
Well, we're low on new listings. So, and that's probably because people are looking at total active listings and going, we're pretty high. Maybe we should just wait. I don't know. So that's the question. That's the theme for today is should people wait or not? And why are people waiting? And and what's the strategy here?
Yeah. So well, let's each go through this. Why don't you tell us what you experience with why you find people tend to wait, and I'll also weigh in on that as well.
I'm finding, well, it takes a lot of energy to wait. So to stay and to wait and go and to make the decision. And the decision stems usually from some kind of uncomfortableness. So dealing with that, and what's the uncomfortableness that you're having now versus what you're going to experience if you move. So getting the place ready, finding a new place and moving. Some people naturally move every number of years. They just have that impetus in them. They want to find a new beginning. Other people I find they really, they find the place that's home and that's it. They stay. So for them, it's harder, I find, because they're not used to moving. They haven't kind of pared things down as they go along. I know for me, I look at the stuff in my house. And I remember George Carlin talking about buying a house to fit in all your stuff. You fill it up and then you buy another house to fill it up with all your stuff. So there comes a time when you have to kind of like pare it down.
Turn the other direction. Yeah.
And that's hard to give it up.
I find it certainly so. In the absence of a really strong, compelling reason to move, I find people prefer the status quo. It's hard for them to, an unknown is scarier than a known, and the known is generally status quo. Let's not move. This house is okay, and so forth. But let's say you do have a lot of reasons to move, but then you've got uncertainty around the market or world affairs or what have you. Should you still consider a move? I think it's important to, look at the entire picture, but I have found in the past that those people that make fear-based decisions, whether it's to move out of fear or to stay out of fear, are the ones who tend to lose out. And that's not to say, don't, just bite the bullet and do things without fear. I think you need to do things with information, but the reasons I find people don't move is generally, the market's not strong enough yet, or I'm still waiting for my home to be worth more money, which is ironic because if they are looking to buy in either the same type of market value or something that's worth more, if they're looking to move up in the market, then waiting for the market to get better for their own home sale costs them more for their other sale. And that's why those nuances are so important.
I'm
But
finding right now,
confidence is so important.
sorry, if people are looking at the cost of living and comparing one to the other, like if they're downsizing, it makes sense right now because there's a lot of good choice of houses for under $1 million, which we could not find 5
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
some beautiful homes. We have one listed on Earl Grey, which has a lovely suite and, you know, a big lot.
Yeah.
So if people want to downsize, there's opportunity there. But are you laughing because I mentioned a listing?
Yeah, I am. Look, we all take a realtor will take any opportunity to market their properties. Yes, I too have a listing on Blackberry Avenue, and I think it's great value, and I'm surprised people aren't taking action on it. And we are. I think that we see properties that right now in this marketplace, we see a lot of opportunity, and we've seen prices that we haven't really experienced for a while, and yet, you know, we're also seeing that people are hesitant. So that's always a really interesting thing to observe.
So we're in this, like this has happened a few times this year where somebody is really interested in a listing of ours, but they're not quite ready. So I think one thing that people can do to separate the anxiety and the risk and the effort is to separate the getting ready from the going to market, or the getting ready from writing an offer. So get ready first and then move.
Yeah, I mean, if you wait to get ready till the conditions are right for you or the right properties come up for you, then you haven't actually gotten ready and you lose on that opportunity yet again. So that whole saying, you know, until one is committed, there is hesitancy and a chance to draw back and always ineffectiveness. I think that is so true, and it comes over and over again in my experience in real estate. You have to be committed. You don't have to make the decision to go now. Your commitment could be, I'm going to list and sell my home within a year, or I'm going to make this move. But you make that commitment and then you start taking action. And,
right.
Yeah. And now there is uncertainty, and there's more chance of, in an uncertain marketplace, of and especially when costs are high and you're not too sure if you can, like, we're not recommending that people, you know, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. I'm going to go buy a home in this market, despite the fact that, you know, I may not be able to get a mortgage, and I don't know if I can put food on the table after I bought a home. Certainly don't advocate for that, but at the same time, when you have that story in your head that's saying, well, I can't do it because of this, and you list your reasons, and we could list a myriad of reasons why people don't take action. But if you've got a list of reasons that you're saying, I can't do it because of X, Y, and Z, I would question that and ask you to question that. Some of them are very legitimate, but it could also be that, you know, for example, I don't want to sell my home first because what if I can't find the home to buy? That's a common one, and yet you won't know until you don't know if that's true or not. And that home could be around the corner. And again, once you've listed and sold your home, you're going to find the home that works for you, because
you will find the home.
You will. It does happen. You're not ever going to, you do sometimes have to burn the bridges in order to be effective. But if you've always got a reason to jump back or make an excuse for not going forward, and it's out of fear of not having your way, then you're not actually, I mean, it's an equal argument for going forward as going back, but most people use the not going forward, they use the fear rather than the bravery.
So I agree with you that if you are willing to take the risk, you will find the property. But often people, they can get into analysis paralysis, and they need to just, they get overwhelmed. And so helping people manage that. But the other thing is by separating the getting ready with the offer and offering and viewing processes that you give yourself space to lessen your anxiety so that you're not doing too many things at once. Because if you think about it, if you're looking, you find the house you want, and then you're getting ready super fast, you will likely not be ready anyway to get
Totally.
that house.
A stressed, overwhelmed brain cannot make good decisions. And so one of the things that always with my clients, whether they're listing a home or selling or buying a home, it's like, let's talk about the listing contract. Let's make sure you don't have any questions in advance of writing an offer. Don't wait until you're writing the offer, because I've had this happen over the years where somebody says, okay, I'm ready. I want to write an offer on this particular home. And by the way, let's take the next, hour and a half to go through the contract and ask all these questions about it. And meanwhile, another offer's come in on the property, or they're just not really able to concentrate on things. So when you have the time beforehand to do all these things, to get these little additive stressors out of the way and answer those questions in advance, you put yourself in such a better position to go forward. And so it's the declutter now, it's the talk to the mortgage broker or bank now, get all of those ducks in a row, and certainly understand the decision you're going to be making well in advance.
The other thing is really looking at your finances and seeing like what the cash flow is going to be, because you want, if you can put that down on paper or have a discussion with the mortgage broker and look at what your costs are going to be per month if you move, I think that takes away a lot of the uncertainty as well. That way you're planning more. You like, okay, you know what, I'm going to end up with $400 more a month. So over the course of a year, that's almost $5,000. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're planning, and the thing is also having a good relationship with your realtor so that you can say to them, you know what, I'm going to take a break now, or you know what, I'm getting more active now, and just helping them understand what the decision points in your life are, what the pressures are, because we come away from a conversation remembering the last conversation we had, whereas you might have gone through some changes.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. You keep us, we all got to keep aligned on these things. So, yeah.
And sometimes something can happen. So like somebody's born. I had a guy come to an open house on the weekend. He's like, I've got grandkids now. I got to move. It's either now or never.
Yeah.
And he wants a place for his grandkids to come and play. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that being said, though, again, that might be a shoot from the hip decision out of panic too. If you've kind of left it too long, or suddenly you've got this change in your life, you think, I've got to make this big dramatic change, and that is a really good reason to make a move. Certainly wouldn't discourage it, but at the same time, you want to think holistically about that, because how many that's not the only thing you're going to that you're going to benefit from, but also maybe sacrifice when you make a move. You've got to think about everything.
So funny thing is I met that guy 2 years ago at an open house.
Yeah.
He walked in and I'm like, have I met you before? And he goes, yeah. And then I'm like remembering all these things about him. And then I realized, okay, I know where he lives, and it all came back. And I thought, it's if you keep coming back to something and it's twigging in your brain over and over and over again, I think that's a sign that you should move.
It's a sign, yeah, for sure. And we all have. There are certain people that come through. They're serial open housers, and we see them at the various open houses, and they talk about, well, I really want to make a move, or eventually I want to get a move, or but they don't. And there's definitely there's something holding them back. There's something that is causing them not to make that move. And the should I stay or should I go? If why are you going to all these open houses? Why are you doing this if not to make a change? And if you're not really committed to it, then go back and stay where you are. I know if you just love going to open houses because you like to see how other people live and you want to stay on top of the market and all that, that's nothing wrong with that, really. But if you, but don't kid yourself, right?
Yeah. And be
don't forget the other
honest.
realtor.
Yeah, exactly. I have clients who they love going to open houses and they go through and they're like, oh, honey, our table would fit here. And look, our hutch would fit there. And look
Yeah.
at our couch. And so I always get a call and I'm
Yeah.
like, they love where they live. They just
Yeah.
like to go through open houses.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very cute. But it's also kind of like, but you get the other agents so excited. I've had those calls too. Like, oh, your client so-and-so came through and I think they really like it. I think they want to write an offer. I'm sure you should reach out to them. And I'm like, okay, well, I will reach out to them. But internally, I'm like, okay, there they go again.
So we have a moving program. Do you guys have like a moving program that you give to people to follow to help them move?
Moving program, like, so I have a whole bunch of advice and best practices that I share with people around, let's say packing, or a little quick tip I like is, go and collect Apple boxes because those are my favorite type of moving box and they're free, much better than the ones you're going to buy from the local moving store. Just go to the produce department in the grocery store. Yeah, so the moving program.
You remember that one?
No.
Twigging on it.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Moving program. So tell me about your moving program. I mean, we essentially just walk people through every step of the process with, here's the best advice we have at this moment.
Yeah. We introduce them to a stager and then they go through with the seller and then we go through after and do a preview. I'm doing one today. Yeah. And then we give them some tips. Sometimes the stager, I find like they can tell them to get rid of too much. You want to be balanced.
Yeah, totally.
You want the house to show well and not be devoid of personality. I've had one case where all the color was taken out of the house because it was all red. And then the stager came in and took all the color out. And I'm like, let's add some more color back in, just like a few throw pillows. Mm-hmm. And then we talk through the next steps of how we get our media ready. Then we start looking at properties. So the media is done. So when they're ready to go, we're ready.
We had a listing that just went live this spring and is now unconditional, but we actually got our media done for it, 6 months beforehand, because the client was really, we talked all through, and yes, we do the same. We have a stager that comes and does an hour consult. We give 1 hour for free, and if the person feels like they need more, and I've never had someone feel like they need more, our stager is amazing and can do so much in an hour, where we're not talking about staging a home that's vacant and bringing in new furniture. That's a whole other conversation. If you feel like that's warranted, we would talk about that. But it's so effective and it's a good start. And then we also, and you do as well, we give our own opinion as well. But I always defer to the stager, of course, if they've got some additional advice. Get the place ready, get the media all prepped and ready to go, and then these are the things that are stumbling blocks if we don't have them together, and they smooth and unruffle the process if it's all done in advance and we've got the time to put all those things in place. So we're always balancing our own busy schedules because we get busy and we have more than one client at a time. And
I only work with one at a time.
You work with one? Okay, well, I work with 2 or 3.
Everyone gets my full undivided attention
at all times. Yeah, because that's you're capable. There's like 3 Janes in at once. You've got your triplets, right? But nobody knows this. Yeah, because
you want to help them make the decision, right? And sometimes if there are 2 people in the decision-making process, you have to make sure they're on the same page as well.
That's, again, should you stay or should you go? Are you on the same page with your partner, with your family, with your neighbors? I was just talking to a colleague who is, they're a bit challenged because their client who needs to sell, they need to downsize, they need to move into they need to move out of their home. I don't want to give too many details. The neighbor is very adamant about this is not a good idea, and yet the family's on board. but the neighbor is giving pressure on the seller to not sell, not accept offers, not take this action, and the seller's being influenced by this.
Does
And
the
that's hard.
neighbor own the property?
I know, no.
That's so
But
funny.
like the point is that I guess if this seller was clear in their purpose, then whatever the neighbor says wouldn't make a difference. But if you're not really clear on your purpose, or you don't have a reason for doing this that's really internalized, you're not going to make a move necessarily.
You're making me think about this because I have a neighbor who wants to move and I just love them. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you can't move yet.
Yeah.
I'm not done with you.
No. See, this is the person I'm actually talking about. Colleagues complaining about you, Jane. It's you.
Yeah. I mean, I can see it where, actually, I do know one neighborhood where I think 4 neighbors all sold at once and they all moved to a new neighborhood. They all moved to new
Wow.
construction in the
That's
Highlands.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my friends, my friend group, and we actually fantasize and talk about at times, everybody's selling out and moving to a smaller community where our money goes further, but we all still live in a community where we get to see each other and hang out. And I think it's kind of an interesting piece. And we're not talking about co-op ownership or anything like that. Everybody has their own home, but moving to a community where you've sold your, let's just for average numbers, you sell $1 million home in Victoria and buy a $500,000 home, somewhere else. And then you've got your retirement and more retirement income and so on. It's not a bad idea if you can get enough people in your community to do that.
Yeah. I remember a realtor in Calgary when we first got started, Marilyn Jennings. Marilyn.
It sounds familiar.
Am I thinking of the person from City TV? Anyway, her name was Marilyn. I remember that. And she was so nice. And she did a session and she talked about how during recession, she actually knocked on everybody's door, got them all to move to this neighborhood, and then sold all these houses in this neighborhood in Calgary. And that's how she did well.
Okay, so for our colleagues listening, if it's a recession, here's a great model for you to follow. That's crazy. I mean, I guess that, anyway, trying to think of how that
I do see lots of families wanting to move in together though now, and or wanting to move into the same neighborhood. And even at my open houses, I'm seeing people shop for their friends and shop for their family who aren't present, and then reporting back to them. So there is, the friendship factor is an issue. It's good.
Totally. Yeah. And certainly there's people out there that want to support you in your move and take it on. And I've worked with a number. Oh man, there are people who are just saints. They work so hard on behalf of their friends to make sure that their friends who are maybe elderly or not able to have the resources to get out there they're doing the legwork, or they're helping in that process. But I mean, good for them.
Yeah, it's nice to have friends like that.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else you want to add?
I think pretty good. Yeah, I mean, again, it's really about the economy, and all of those other factors do play into buying and selling and moving. But I guess what I want to say is there's that whole zig when other people are zagging kind of thing as well. When the people who tend to do well, again, are those who don't necessarily follow the herd and look at the situation under the reality of the moment and make a decision that works best for them, not waiting for external factors necessarily to align to meet up with their needs, because sometimes those external factors never line up and you're in the wrong home for way too long, and it causes financial problems, it causes relationship problems, it causes so many other factors that have higher costs than the cost of maybe a potential financial loss from timing a move based just on the numbers.
So my thought is similar, but if you're thinking of making a move, one of the best things you can do is make that decision before you have to make that decision. So usually there's pressure with a birth, a death, divorce, a relationship change, or probably a job transition. And so you want to make the move before somebody else forces you to, because as you said, the pressure under stress is a bad one. The pressure with planning and process is a good one.
Yeah, exactly. Help us help you get ahead of it, ask us questions, get the answers you need in advance, talk about your hopes, dreams, and fears. Let us help give you the resources that you need to make these things happen so you can make an informed, confident decision, and not something that in the stress of the moment you're grasping at straws and just going, screw it, I'm going to do this or not do this.
And have an open, honest conversation with your realtor because they are playing for your team. And then discuss what they can share and what they can't share. Because again, you want to make sure you're protected and that you can go forward with confidence.
And I want to say this because not everybody trusts realtors, and not every realtor should be trusted, right? So, because it's a
relationship.
It's a relationship. So form that relationship, get that relationship going, meet somebody. If you don't, ask your friends, who do they trust? And if you don't if you're not feeling the vibe from the person you get connected with, it's just like any relationship, break it off and start a new one, but don't do it willy-nilly. Every relationship also takes work and some commitment. So we commit to you, you commit to us, we get going. And if it's a good working, healthy relationship, magic happens.
You know what's so funny? Sorry, last story. I was in a relationship. I had a client who they sold and bought with me probably 15 years ago. And it was a couple, they were downsizing and they made a quick decision. So she would have been 75 and now she's 90.
Wow.
And we just sold her townhouse. And so she told her kids that she wanted me to be her realtor. So I had to create a relationship with the kids. And of course, they didn't know who I was.
Right.
And just the establishment, first of all, of trust, because we were kind of blind dated together, that we had to work together.
Yeah.
But, at the end, the son surprised me. So I got the keys and he went, and I was like, and he goes, hug.
Yeah.
And I was like, he goes, now we know you. We're going to use you in the future. That was just like the best moment ever.
Yeah. Because, and also they so appreciate that you care for their mother, that you care, you cared for your mother. You took care of, their mother. You took care of their mother. The care comes into all of it. And when they see that, and you care about them too, but honestly, your client is the mother and you're managing and making a relationship with everyone else.
Yeah.
But it has to be there.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you are.
All right. Well, if you like this program, we love your input and your feedback. Please give us a little check mark saying that we know that you've seen the program. Don't forget to subscribe. We do have a YouTube channel, The Greater Victoria Real Estate Show, and comment. We'd love to hear what you have to say. And of course, share this with anybody who you think might need some advice. Yeah. And Andrew, how do people reach you?
Give me a call or send me a text message to 250-360-6106. That's 250-360-6106. You can also email me info@andrewplank.com and my website, andrewplank.com as well. And then I am part of the Vibe Collective. We are a team here in Greater Victoria, and you can see our website and lots of resources and background information at the Vibe Collective, and that's at Real Vibe, REAL as in real estate, vibe.ca.
Okay, and you can reach Jen Lowe, who's normally here every Tuesday at the Modern Mortgage Group. Dominion Lending Centers, her number is 250-217-4925, and she can be reached at jen@jenlowe.ca. And she has a cool app you might want to try.
Yeah.
And you can reach me, Jane Johnston. I'm with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun. My number is 250-744-0775. My email is jane@briarhillgroup.com. Text is best so. And you can look at our listings, briarhillgroup.com, or follow me on Instagram at realtyteacher_. Remax_Victoria. All right, you guys. We'll see you next Tuesday. Have a great week.
Okay, I was trying to do an Australian accent, and I couldn't get it. We were talking about the different accents you can do. Anyway, that was a great one you just did. I got to say, I admire it. Okay, thanks, everyone.
Okay. All right, see you later.
All right.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on the Greater Victoria Real Estate Show.
We're here weekly, bringing you up-to-date insights on the Greater Victoria real estate market.
Make sure to follow and subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you listen to podcasts so you'll never miss an update.
We'll be back next week with more clarity around what's happening and what it means for you.